to say, oh, this man's wife doesn't respect him, so why should I respect him? Or if there's a deal or a contract, they may feel like they can cheat him out of the deal, like they could give him a lesser. I just read this book. Finally reviewing my first book on here. So this book is called For Women Only, What You Need to Know About the Inner Lives of Men. And it is written by Shaunti Feldhahn. The thing I found is that this book is really geared towards married women. But I do think that single, dating, engaged women that are looking to get into marriage, there's a lot of good lessons that you could learn from here. She has a lot of good insights on the inner lives of men, like the book says. So just a general overview of what this book is about. So in this book, she surveyed 400 men between the ages of 21 and 75 in the US. And she asked them 24 questions about their lives, how they think, and what they feel. And the survey was really focused on their inner thoughts and emotions rather than their outward actions. So really trying to see how they think and their emotions. I did want to give some of the lessons that I learned, and I guess maybe some of them I knew already, but just like some of the things that I think that are really good to point out. One of the themes here, which I think a lot of us know, a lot of people know, how men value respect more than love, and it's kind of like the opposite for women, where it's like women want more love than respect, which kind of ties into what the Bible did say about men loving their wives. Another theme in the book is that men are visual. Yeah, I think we've always heard that men are visual, but how visual are they? That's another thing that we need to look into. Men feel like imposters. They're constantly being judged by society, and they need affirmations from their wives. Similar to the first point, men will subconsciously or unconsciously seek out places where they're being affirmed. So men would definitely want to go to places that bring them up, not places that bring them down. So reaffirmation. And another one, providing, is at the core of a man's identity. So I just want to say a few things in each of these points that I just mentioned. So first things first, talk about the respect versus love. I think a lot of us have heard that a lot. Men would say that they'd rather be respected. And so there's actually a survey regarding this that she came up with. And really, the reality is that men would rather feel alone and respected than unloved. And so 74% of men would rather be alone and respected than loved. So that's a big number. And I like to think that for women, it's different, because for women would rather be loved than be alone, right? I think so, at least for me though. So there's that difference. Another survey that was done was regarding, in the middle of a conflict, how do men feel? Are they feeling unloved, or are they feeling disrespected? So 81% of men feel disrespected when they're in a conflict with their spouse. And so what does respect even mean to a man? She mentioned a few points, like respecting his judgment, respecting his abilities, trusting him, respecting him in public. And I wanted to kind of rest on that public respect as well. She also talked about teasing. A lot of times when women, like they just tease their husbands in public, or they just say something about them, and maybe not even teasing, like generally talking bad about your husband in public while he's there with his friends or just anybody. That's not respect. So you want to be bringing out his good qualities. I'm not talking down on him, but that's one of the ways that you show respect to your husband. You don't want to disrespect your husband in public, especially amongst his friends. She gave kind of an illustration that when a woman disrespects her husband, like in front of colleagues or friends, there's that tendency for the colleagues to say, oh, this man's wife doesn't respect him, so why should I respect him? Or if there's a deal or a contract, they may feel like they can cheat him out of the deal, like they could give him a lesser deal just because his wife doesn't respect him. So I don't know how true that is, but that's what's in there. So definitely don't want to disrespect your husband in public, and even in private too. Just don't want to bring him down in front of others. something like that. So what I want to touch on is affirmation. So she did do a survey as well on affirmation, and 44% of men feel underappreciated at home, which is, you know, it's not as high as 70 something, but at least I guess 4 in 10 men feel like they're not appreciated at home. And the truth is that men will consciously or unconsciously, they would seek affirmation elsewhere. And it could be another woman, maybe, whenever they're not getting affirmation. And a Christian man shouldn't be doing that as well. But other ways they could do that is true, like, you know, kind of pouring themselves into sports. Like if they play sports and they like get a shot, they can hear like good shot from somebody or good game, something like that, or they go work out and just to get that affirmation. So as wives, you don't want your husband to seek affirmation elsewhere, so you want to keep affirming him. And there's this funny clip I saw about there's this couple, they do like skits on Facebook.
Proud of me.
Proud? $100.
$100? That's cheap.
I'm proud of you.
Really?
Yeah.
God bless you. I love you.
And so they need that affirmation from their women. The last one I want to talk about is providing is at the core of a man's identity. I think some of us already have this kind of idea. You know, men want to provide, they want to get ahead in their career. That's why a lot of times you see that men are the ones spending longer hours. You know, they're usually more, I find in my experience, they're usually more into their work. Like when I worked in certain places, like I've worked in an industry where it was mostly men, and I see the way they really take their jobs, and sometimes they could get anxious that they're not doing a good job or they may get fired. So you find that men, they really want to pour themselves into work because they feel like providing is at the core of their identity. And even nowadays, women are also providing, like women are sharing the bills, especially in the West, you know, women are also working, but a man still feels that it is his responsibility to provide for the family. Yeah, overall, I think that there's a lot of lessons that we could learn from this book, a lot of things that you could apply to your life. Personally, I didn't cover all the parts. There's another part that talks about how sex is important, but like I said, it's really for married women. Summary of that is that when married women reject their husbands for sex, for men, it's not just physical, it's emotional too. And so men feel rejected whenever their wives don't respond to their advances for sex. But like I said, that's really for the married folks. Guys, that's all I had. I'm really hoping that I can do more book reviews, talk about some of my lessons. Yes, but I'm also curious, have you read this book? What did you think about the book? And are there some things that you would like to share about your life?
What shall I render? Tell me, what can I offer to you? How can I say that I'm grateful?